We're in Costa Rica right now, and we're stuck on a bus for 2 hours with 40 real estate investors. So I'm going to do a podcast. I'm going to interview 10 or 12 of these people right now, pull their best things out of their heads that have helped them build big, massive portfolios, and I'm going to share it to you in this episode of the No Money Real Estate Podcast. Hey, my name's Ken Dunn, and I'm a real estate investor. I want to welcome you to the No Money Real Estate Podcast. On this show, I'm going to interview elite-level real estate investors from all over North America, and I'm going to help you to see one thing that all successful real estate investors have in common. They built their portfolios without using a dime of their own money. I've got a portfolio of $300 million in real estate. That includes resorts, apartment buildings, commercial buildings, and I built the entire portfolio without using a dime of my own money. Real estate is a business that anybody can get into, but the strategies that those titan real estate investors use to build massive portfolios have been kept secret for decades. Now, because of this show, I'm going to reveal them to you. So let's get started. Hey, my first stop here is with Sonia and Steph. Let's start off. You guys tell these guys a little bit about who you are.
Okay, well, we're Steph and Sonia. We are a couple, and we're doing house flipping, and we just started with a syndicate about 6 months ago, and we're very keen investors.
Yeah, we have already got a duplex. We're working on our first flip. We're looking for a cottage, and making sure that we're setting ourselves up for success with this great man.
All right, so if you're thinking about everything you've learned about real estate, now the stuff that you're using building your own portfolio, if I asked you to give new people one single piece of advice on real estate investing, what would it be?
Know your numbers.
Yes, absolutely. Analyzation for us is key. So you know your numbers, and you know whether it's a good deal or a bad deal, and you can walk away without putting your emotion in it.
Yeah.
What are some of those things that people should do if they're trying to figure out the numbers on the property? What's that actually mean?
Well, you want to sit down and make sure you're not going to overspend, you're not over-personalizing it. If the house only requires laminate vinyl plank, don't put in hardwood, and don't overspend on it.
And speak to the masses of what everybody wants, just not your own personal take on things.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, now I'm here with Marty and Diane. Tell everybody a little bit about yourselves.
Yeah, we're in Ontario, in near Wasaga Beach, and we are first-time condo flippers. Very excited.
We joined in Simon Yan's program. I think we were one of the first people in there.
Yeah.
Got our condo in Barrie, did the reno, was all done in about 6 weeks. It's back on the market now.
So I'm doing a podcast right now, and I'm just talking to people stuck on this bus with me about some tips for beginners. So if you think let's say you're talking to somebody who's brand new to real estate, never done it before, and you can give them one piece of advice that's going to make them successful, what would that be?
Get a good mentor.
Okay.
Make sure that would be my number one.
Why is that important?
Well, it's important because if you want to do anything, you need people around you that know what they've done so they can share it with you. But I was actually going to say the first thing is just start, because you keep thinking, oh, I'll be better next week, I'll know more, but to start looking and calling.
Is starting important?
Starting is important, absolutely.
And finishing.
Yeah.
We think we might even sell our condo while we're on this trip. We got 3 people.
We hope so.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Now I found Darren and Heather. They're stuck in the back of the bus. Introduce yourselves.
Hey, I'm Darren Mitchell and Heather.
I'm Heather Mitchell.
Where do you live? What do you do?
I live in Halifax. I own a company controlling Compound Financial.
So you've been talking to real estate investors a lot over the last 30 years and helping them, find the money and get the money, be their own bank and all that. But what I want to know is, what is the fundamental biggest single piece of advice that you could give somebody that's maybe not even just wanting to build a real estate portfolio, but wanting to succeed?
I'd say 2 things. Number one, you invest in yourself. You're your greatest asset. Whatever you do, invest in yourself. Join a group, get around like-minded people. And then the second one would be fire, ready, aim. Take action. Take action, commit to something, try it. If it doesn't work, try something else. People that are successful try things and fail until they find something that works.
Hey, I'm here with Rael Schulman now. Rael's been doing real estate for 30 years. Tell everybody a little bit about you.
Hi, I'm Rael. I live in north of Toronto.
How long have you been doing real estate for? What kind of real estate you been doing?
I've been doing real estate probably in my late teens till now, and the kind of portfolio I have is pretty much well-rounded. I have quite a few different things: Airbnb, long-term rental, and my family lived in several of the houses I have. I want to get into more things. I haven't picked my lane yet. I'm very excited to learn more things about it.
But there's something about that. So when I'm talking to real estate investors, and especially new people, I always tell them, think about starting with house flipping and pick a lane. You can become an expert on one thing a lot easier than a bunch of things. But whenever you're around, you're saying, I refuse to pick a lane. And that is because you enjoy it all. And that's the question I have for you. Like, how important do you think it is that somebody should really enjoy what they're doing in real estate if they're going to succeed?
Well, I prefer to enjoy what I'm doing, and I hope I do find that lane. But yes, if you're an expert in something, definitely stick with that lane. I don't think I'm an expert yet in any of the particular lanes, so I want to try them all out until I know I'm an expert at it and I enjoy doing it.
What other piece of advice would you give to somebody that's just starting out, that's never done it before, they know they want to get into real estate, they don't know where to get started? What kind of advice comes across to your mind that you want to share with people?
Well, for sure, have someone help you. Like, join a group, find other real estate people, and don't listen to naysayers. Just don't listen to them. Just go for it. If you know that's what you want to do, just go for it. Ken always advises people that flipping should be first, and I have a feeling that's a good idea. I really do.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, now I'm at seat 5C and D, and I'm here with Sherry and Rick. Guys, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell everybody a little bit of what you've done in real estate.
Hi, my name is Sherry Tompkins. I'm from the Belleville area, Belleville, Ontario. And I have done quite a bit, actually. I have a couple of 80-acre parcels of land. I flipped raw land. I'm up to build a couple of houses in the spring. I've got long-term rentals. I lend money. I hold mortgages. I borrow money to buy more. And right now I've got 2 cottage projects on the go. Very busy.
So if somebody is just getting started and their goal is to build a big 7 or 8-figure portfolio one day, beyond the get a mentor and develop education, all that, like, what are some of the fundamental pieces of advice about a deal, about picking a deal, about finding the first property? What are some of the pieces of advice that come across your mind?
First thing would be to know your numbers, to really know every aspect of what the deal is going to be, what it's going to cost you, know whether it's going to be the right deal or not. You have to know that you're going to come out of this ahead when it's finished. So you need to know how you're going to exit the deal, how you're going to get your financing, timelines. You need to know all of these things and many more things before you choose.
Okay, now I'm in seat 2A. Got Dave Mastronardi here with me, and he's stuck on this real estate bus. Check this out. Everybody wave your hands. We're on the podcast together. Yay! A whole bunch of people here. But I want to talk to you for a sec. Dave, tell everybody a little bit about who you are.
Dave Mastronardi. I'm a real estate investor from Windsor, Ontario.
What kind of portfolio did you have?
I have commercial properties, multifamily in Canada, and single-family homes in Florida.
So we're talking to new people. This is for the No Money Real Estate podcast. We get thousands of downloads of every show. A lot of people that are just getting started in real estate watch this show. What kind of advice would you have for people that are just getting started? They want to build a portfolio like you've got, millions of dollars in it. What should they do?
Educate yourself on the numbers, how to assess a property, and work harder than everyone around you to find the opportunity.
Let's talk a little bit about the numbers. What exactly does that mean? Like, what numbers? Let's say somebody is doing, I don't know, they're buying an apartment building or something like that. What do the numbers look like? What does it mean?
Just make sure you understand all the income, all the expenses, what could possibly go wrong and cost you more money than your plan. Have an exit strategy on the numbers as well for multiple financing options. Just ensure you know the whole process from beginning to end such that you don't get caught with something that costs you a lot more money or that doesn't go as planned or you can't get financing. The better you know your numbers, you plan for various scenarios that allow you to be comfortable with your investment, especially if you have investors comfortable with what you're communicating to them.
Let's talk about your last deal that you did and the actual numbers that made you decide to do the deal. What did it look like? How much did you pay for it? What was it? What made you buy it? What did the numbers look like?
Sure. It was a 6-plex in Fort Myers, brand new construction, townhomes. There was 6 individual units, $2.1 million cost. Each individual unit was around $335,000. But based on my purchase, I bought them from the builder, and they were looking to get rid of units, so the pricing was very good. So it was built-in equity of approximately $50,000 to $75,000 per unit, which was nice. they rent anywhere from $2,700 to $3,000 per unit, so more than enough to cover the mortgage, even at 6-7% rates. But you should always factor in 8 or 9% just in case. So that it made sense from a rental perspective because they cash flow. It also made sense from an equity perspective because if they didn't rent, they could always sell them and make anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000 per unit.
Right.
So there's two opportunities to buffer myself.
And then, of course, I think you said these are going to be short-term rentals?
Yeah, so there 3 are short-term rentals, 3 are longer-term rentals. So 3 were furnished, 3 are unfurnished, and then we'll kind of just play it by ear to see what has the most rental opportunity. And if they don't, either flip them out or convert. So convert the annuals to seasonals, and convert the seasonals to annuals. Kind of gauge the market and see what's working and what's not working, and adjust the strategy.
So I guess one of the things that you might be looking at as well is if you're thinking about that mixed use of long-term rentals and short-term rentals, I guess you better make sure you're doing it in a jurisdiction that allows that. So did you keep that in mind when you were looking at those units?
Sorry, what was it?
Just the jurisdictions and making sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So there's an HOA community, and they have certain rules. As long as you follow the rules, which are pretty simple, yeah, absolutely.
So I guess another part of this might be like knowing your numbers to buy, but also making sure that whatever the use of the real estate is, that it's the best use of the real estate and that it's an allowed use of real estate. Is that a good way to sum it up?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. And the HOA rules are fairly simple. It depends on, especially in Florida, a lot of them are gated communities. And in the gated communities, you have to follow the HOA rules pretty strictly. And that can limit your potential. Like you can't Airbnb by the night in there. You have to be monthly rentals, for example. So that's one area where you just have to make sure you understand the rules. And that applies to anyone really that you're investing. Understand the rules, especially if you're getting into development type stuff, what's allowable in the area, etc. So just have to understand the landscape.